Welcome students to my class of investment analysis and portfolio management. So today we are going to discuss about the portfolio performance, portfolio management and performance evaluation methods. So before starting with the portfolio management, I would like to tell you what is portfolio management is. Like, it is a process of security analysis. It is a process of security analysis. So, when we talk about securities, it includes equity, securities includes equity, bonds, mutual funds, then we have government securities, money market instruments, now so we have to an investor has to analyze these securities before entering into the stock market or before doing an investment. So the then comes the portfolio selection. So portfolio selection is कि once we have, suppose we an investor has analyzed the equity. So among the equities of suppose 5 companies shares has been analyzed by the investor. So among these 5 companies, the best shares, best stocks would be selected by the investor, and portfolio selection, it comprises of the selecting one out of many alternatives, one out since an investor cannot put all the savings into single security. Like, it is never suggested that put your all eggs into a one basket. So that is what the portfolio selection is. Then comes to the revision of portfolio. Now, whenever the portfolio is selected, always since we have assigned our hard earned money into the various securities, various assets on a proportionate basis. So that is why we need to revise the portfolio. Like, for revising the portfolio, we can what we do at that particular point of time, we revise the portfolio taking into consideration the various changes. We want to make changes some into the portfolio which has already been constructed. Portfolio, it is a combination of various securities. Then comes to the evaluation of portfolio. How well the portfolio is performing, it is evaluated through the various techniques, various models which are being provided by the portfolio management techniques. So, portfolio management, it is the overall process of security analysis, then comes the portfolio selection, then revision of portfolio and evaluation of portfolio. Now, there are certain phases into the portfolio management, like specification of investment objectives and constraints, and quantification of capital market expectation, then asset allocation, then formulation of portfolio strategy, selection of securities, portfolio execution, rebalancing and evaluation. So, all these phases, they are interrelated. There is certain relationship between these phases of portfolio management. Like, what if we talk, if we see this diagram. So, there is the first 4 phases, they are the part of investment policy and strategy. Like, specification of investment objectives, then quantification of capital market expectation, asset allocation, evaluation of portfolio strategy. Like these 4 phases, they are the part of investment policy, and investment policy of by an investor, it is decided on the basis of the risk and return expectation of an investor. It is decided, every investor has got different risk tolerance level. Every investor has to choose between the various securities. Now, when we come to the last 4 phases, these are the part of investment implementation and review. So, these parts, they are all these things, their phases are interrelated. So, let us discuss these phases one by one, like at the specification of investment objectives and constraints. So, whenever an investor decide about the investment objective, whenever an investor decides about the constraint associated with the investment, so there are certain objective, like some people they want some people they want short term income, some people they need money for long run purpose, and at the same time their accordingly their objectives they also differs. Every individual has different risk taking capacity depending upon the financial fund availability with the investor. So, accordingly the investor decides over the objectives, and there are certain constraints also. Every investor cannot put all his income into the savings. So, all the income which is kept by an investor into the saving, that income is that is on the basis of certain keeping into consideration the objective, keeping into consideration the constraints. Like some people like to keep their funds into short term securities, some people they like to keep their funds into the long term securities. So, along with this short time horizon and the constraints, the investor has to quantify the capital market expectation too. Like whenever a strategy is decided, whenever on the basis of the objectives and constraints, so always we quantify the capital in market expectation, like how much return we are expecting from a particular security. Then coming on the asset allocation, whatever funds we are having, so the number of securities we have analyzed favorable for us. So, accordingly on the proportionate basis we are going to assign weights to those securities. Then formulation of portfolio strategy, and accordingly strategy is formulated. So, strategy is what? Strategy is, it is an action plan. So, these 4 phases they are the part of investment policy and strategy. So, here the strategy is developed, the course of action which is going to be implemented by a particular investor, that is implemented here. Then coming on the next 4 phases, like selection of security, whatever strategies we have made, accordingly the securities are selected, and accordingly the execution of portfolio takes place. Then there is revision of portfolio and portfolio evaluation. So, all the next last 4 steps, they are the part of investment implementation and review. Means ki whatever strategy here we have decided, now we have to implement this particular strategy. Now, turning goals into strategy. So, here the investor tries to put his objectives, to put his goals into an action. So, strategy is a course of action where all the objectives, all the things of an investor, they are kept in the form of implementation, they comes in the form of implementation part. Now, investor concern here is at least meet minimum acceptable level without taking excessive risk. Like some people they want comfortable and stress free retirement. If for comfortable and stress free retirement, what the people will do, what the investor will do, they would invest their savings into the long term fund from the beginning of their investment process. So, they would like to keep into funds into the pension funds, and some people they require long term or short term fund. They have long term or short term fund requirement and would design asset allocation accordingly, according to their preferences, according to their risk taking capacities. Now, at the time of specification of investment objectives, so whenever an investor specifies the investment objective, investor always keeps in mind these objectives. They are decided keeping into consideration the risk tolerance level, as well as return expectation. How much return a particular investor is expecting from the stock market. So, risk tolerance level, this is the risk bearing capacity of an investor, which the investor can take at a particular moment of time. Like there could be these objectives like income, growth and stability. So, if we talk about income, so income of every individual differs. So, every individual wants a particular income either in the form of interest or in the form of dividend if the investor is investing into the equity shares of the company. So, but it should be regular income. Some people they want minimum return at the minimum level, minimum return, or at a given level of return at minimum risk. They would like to have consistent income. They do not want fluctuating income into the market from the market. Then coming on the growth prospect. So, here the meaning of the growth is capital appreciation. Capital appreciation. Investor wants to maximize his or her capital. Whatever principal amount the investor is having, investor wants growth into that particular capital. Then coming on the stability aspect. So, all the investors they want that their principal money it should be same, principal amount it should remain same, it should not change with the risk level. At a particular level of risk, the principal amount should not reduce. Nobody wants the loss of the principal amount, every investor wants to maximize the principal amount. So, the people want the stability of the income. Now, if all these objectives they are decided on the basis of some certain constraints, like there are certain constraints, like first is the liquidity. Investor wants there should be liquidity is the ease of converting an asset into cash, whatever without any loss, whatever investment the investor has done. So, that investment can be converted into cash as and when it is needed by the investor into cash, like so that is the liquidity. So, investor takes into consideration this aspect also. If we need if an investor requires short term funds. So, for short term funds what the investor would be doing, investor need to invest into the short term securities. So, that whenever the investor would convert those securities into cash, there should not be any kind of loss of interest, that should not be there. Then coming on there is another constraint like taxes. Investor always wants to know what would be the post tax returns, what would be the post tax returns from the particular security. Then next is regulations. Regulation, if we talk about the constraints, so it is also regulations are to be followed by the institutional investors. These are the rules and regulation which are for the institutional investor, like in India we have mutual funds cannot keep more than 10% of their money into the equities of any public limited company. They cannot keep more than 10% of their money into the equity of such companies. Similarly, these regulations are not for individual investors, they are only for the institutional investors. Then there are certain unique constraints, if we talk about the unique constraints. So, these are the situations of an individual investor. Situation of a particular individual investor, like some people they have to take care of their aging parents. So, their income, their savings would be comparatively less. So, accordingly they would keep their money. Some people they have family responsibilities. So, to fulfill those responsibilities they have to minimize their investment, or they have to keep their investment into the government securities or into such assets where the returns are regular, where the returns are not fluctuating. Now, moving on the next aspect, there is risk and reward concept. Always, if as we know that there are variety of investors, like some people, some are risk takers, some are risk averse. So, here investor determines the risk preference accordingly chooses his level of return. Investor also decides about the time preference. If I say here the meaning of this time preference is, it is related with a long term and short term. So, long term, as we move towards the long term, so what happens, in the long run there are more chances of recovery of losses, but in the short run if there is a loss, investor has to bear that particular loss, and if there are profits, so investor has to consider those profits. So, there are less chances of recovery in the short run. Now, there are variety of investors, like first is conservative investors. So, conservative investors, these are those investors who don't want to minimize their principal amount. At the same time, they would like to keep their money into the government securities or into the fixed income securities where the returns are comparatively high. Then we have moderately conservative investors. So, moderately conservative investors are, these are those investors who are ready to take some percentage of risk they can take, like they would like to keep at least 10% of their savings, they would like to keep into the risky assets, and rest of their savings they would like to keep into the government securities or into the fixed income securities. Then there is moderately aggressive investors. These are the people who are ready to take risk, who are ready to bear loss, but their 60% of their investment, around 60 to 70% we can say, investment is into the fixed income security, and rest of the investment they put into the highly risky assets like equities of the companies, or they keep their funds into the stock market. Then we have aggressive investors. These are those investors who are more aggressively investing into the stock market, like they are keeping money. They would like to keep 35 to 50% of their saving into the high risk, high income securities. Then very aggressive investors, very aggressive investors, these are the people who would like to take more risk, who would not like to avoid they are ready to bear more risk, but they want high return. So, that all depends. Risk and reward concept talks about how much risk bearing capacity a particular investor is having at a particular point of time. For example, a person having 50,000 income and the person having income of 50 lakhs, and both the persons, they are keeping 25% of their assets into the risky asset, into the stock market, and the person whose income is 50,000, that person would be more affected by the decline in the income into the stock market than the person who is having the income of 50 lakhs. Now, let us talk about this investment risk pyramid. So, this investment risk pyramid, it has 3 phases. This is the lowest risk zone and this is the highest risk zone. So, at the base level, base is one of the strongest portion of this pyramid, since it is having all the securities which belongs to this base level, they are the fixed income securities. Similarly, at the as we move on to the middle level, so there are comparatively like assets, they are comparatively less risky. Then at the top level, at the summit level, we have the highest risky assets. Base of the pyramid, it is the strongest portion which supports everything above it, and it has low risk and foreseeable returns. The returns, they are also fixed here, they are also pre-decided, like interest on bond, interest on securities, that is fixed by the government and it is known to the investor also. Middle portion comprises of medium risk, stable return area, and it allows capital appreciation to the investors, and in the summit area we have highly risky assets like options, derivatives are there. These instruments, they are highly risky, at the same time they provide huge benefit to the investor also. Then asset allocation mix. Asset allocation mix, here we talk about the mix of equities, debt, and the proportionate of funds which are allocated into the different assets like bond, real estate, equities, mutual funds, etc. Then portfolio strategies, when we talk about the discuss about the portfolio strategies, there are 2 types of strategies like passive and active. So, passive investors are those, they believe in the efficient market hypothesis. They believe that the prices of the securities into the stock market, they do not they reflect all the information into the stock market. Then and the active investors, so that is why on account of this ground, they do not want to spend too much time on the management of the portfolio. Similarly, active investors, they do not believe on the stock prices, they say that the past prices do not reflect all the information. So, that is why they go for the rigorous fundamental analysis and technical analysis associated with the stocks. So, and their benefit that they achieve through this that overweighs the marginal cost. Now, let us talk about the risk reduction in the stock portion of a portfolio. So, how does an investor can minimize the risk into the from the portfolio? Now, here we have 2 things like law of large numbers. Law of large numbers states that if as we keep on more and more number of securities into the portfolio, so ultimately the we are able to manage portfolio in a positive way, because all the securities, if we are keeping 5 to 6 securities rather than keeping our asset into 1 to 2 securities, so there is a difference. It makes a difference, like 5 to 6 securities are there. So, there would be less risk, and if there are 1 or 2 securities, more chances of loss that would increase. So, as we increase the number of securities in our portfolio, so the chances of loss would be comparatively less. Then coming on the value investing. So, value investors, there are two types of investing, like value investing and growth investing. So, value investors, they select the securities from the market, they are also known as from the market which are underperformers. Like they select the securities whose prices are declining into the stock market, and they are also known as conservative investors, because they see they perceive that if the prices of securities they are declining into the market, they would be able to get huge profit once the prices would rise. So, they select such type of securities from the stock market. Now, such value investors are suitable for the market where the depression condition is going on. Now, if we talk about the growth investing, so growth investing, here the investor pick up the shares of growth making companies, like on the basis of fundamental analysis, the shares are selected, like the sales of companies, they are analyzed by the investors, their EPS is analyzed by the investors, price earning ratios, that those ratios are analyzed by the investors, and based on that that analysis, the investor invest into the growth making shares of the companies. So, it is not easy to select the growth making companies from the market for these investors. Now, once the investors, they are able to select the growth shares from the market, they invest their money into those shares. Then coming on the performance index, till here the investor has created the portfolio, investor has analyzed the what sort of security the investor has to purchase, how much risk the investor has to bear. So, now the investor would like to evaluate the performance, and that performance is evaluated by the investor into with the help of Sharpe, Trainer and Jensen model, that we will discuss later on. Now, whenever an asset investment building an investment portfolio, here at the time of building an investment portfolio, assets are allocated percentage wise, fund allocation is done into the various stocks, and the asset classes, they are also defined, like stocks, bond, real estate, or foreign currency securities, wherever we are going to invest our funds. Then diversification, here we the more would be the diversification of securities, more diversified the investment would be, more would be the chances of profit, less would be the chances of loss or risk, right. So, this was all about the portfolio what the portfolio management is. So, till here we have studied what is investment, what are the investment objectives, and what are the strategies, and how do we quantify the expectations of the investors. Thank you for patient listening.